When did it started to become more serious for you? Like you mentioned, you couldn't play drums at the beginning. And I don't know what kind of experience did you have on guitar? Were you
I
a
had
good
been playing
player?
guitar since a kid, but never, never. I had played in a couple of high school bands, just, oh, the talent show is coming up. Let's make a band and play this song, like that kind of thing. But never anything that was really, really anything to speak of. But yeah, I had been playing guitar since I was young, just for fun. So I had that experience. But playing with a band is, as I discovered, completely different than sitting in your room practicing notes. It was, yeah. But there was an initial question before that. I'm sorry, what was it?
Yeah, when did it become more serious for you as a band? When
I think
did you
it
start
was
to realize that?
the first time we actually got a physical copy of our record, maybe the Catamaran Long Journey, and we were like, oh, because we were always like, oh, it would be great if we could have a record of someday, and having that kind of like, I think made us all feel a little like, oh, wow, this is like, we could have more things with that have artwork on them, and
there was a period of like 2.5 years where we were always, having a physical record was like, man, someday, and then it happened, and I think that, like you said, it just kind of turned, this light came on over our heads where we realized, maybe we can continue doing this, and people liked the record, and that was definitely another.
We were still working. It was still like we were, it was
we had
still
day
a
jobs.
hobby and like a lot of other things on our minds.
But and right now, is it now your full-time occupation?
Well, we're not doing anything else on this tour, so yeah, for this tour, yeah. I mean, when we get back, we'll probably fill in somewhere here or there.
Find odd jobs, doing things like that, but for the most part, nothing takes priority over the band right now. So
must be weird then that without any expectations, then now playing a lot of shows in Europe and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is. I guess weird is one way to describe it. I mean, I never like.
How would you describe it?
No, I think that weird is fitting.
Strange.
Yeah, not weird. No, it's a
little surreal
surprising.
to
it's
us
surreal,
to be playing in Europe. I guess we didn't expect that. I think every step of this process has been kind of new and surreal and like, oh wow, look at this, I guess. But it's really great to be here and a privilege. We're very touched that people in the Netherlands are happy to come see our shows, and yeah.
You were telling like that making a physical album was a thing that was really far away from you. But when did you start thinking about making an actual album? Because with the idea that it was, something for the future.
It was when I've been friends with Nick Waterhouse for a long time. We went to college together, and then he came down to see us play. I think maybe probably half a year after we started. He came down from San Francisco. And he was in town for some other reason. I was like, you should come check us out. And he really was into what we were doing, and he was like, we should record.
What did he like about it?
I think he liked our viewpoint, our kind of our vision, like this old Los Angeles kind of less, I guess, about a lot to do with tones and mood and the songs we were playing, and kind of the place that we were pulling from in terms of like kind of like old Los Angeles feelings. Not almost no like musical influence talked about, just like we used to cover this Gordon Lightfoot song, Early Morning Rain, and I remember him coming up to me after the show and he was like, I can't believe you covered that song. It's kind of like reminds me of like a Los Angeles that people don't usually like reference in a lot of ways, and I don't know, I guess it was both Nick and I like kind of romanticize a little bit about places and things that maybe don't exist, or places in time that were special to us, I guess. And I think he ended up moving down to Los Angeles, and we've created a nice little. He created the Prez Records thing, and then he put our record on that and put his record on that too. So it's a fun little beginning. I think he saw like some potential in us, and he wanted to start a little record company. So that was that.
Were you the first band on his label? Or?
I think well, Someplace came out on his. It was his own label. I think Someplace came out before.
Yeah, it was
obviously
a couple months before.
Us. Yeah.
But yeah, he actually put up the money to get us in the studio and press the records and everything. So
he really encouraged us to do that.
Okay.